Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. We are back with Surviving as a Trader, Surviving Mars. And today we are going to continue expanding the base and potentially get some hydrogen going. But first, let's check out the store as we always do. And it looks like we can buy a bunch of ore now. Alright, so let's just switch to the large cargo container so we can just purchase it all. Ingots at 143 is not bad, so just gonna buy that because we need a bunch of that as well. So just gonna buy as much necessary things, even uranium ore, which not much that's there, but we'll buy it all just in case, and some cobalt as well. So that should be good for now. We haven't bought data pads in a while, so I'm gonna buy that. Should have put that in my inventory instead, actually, but oh wells. All right, so other than that, we can start selling everything here if we need to. So we should make out in terms of at least the iron ore. So let's just put that all in here, and yep. So about 2 mil missing, but that's probably because the uranium, silicon, nickel ores worth of stuff. That's not too bad. And of course, I also check acquisitions, but you're probably not going to see too much of that. So doing some acquisitions netted me 4 million more. So that works out. And speaking of out, let's go outside. So last we left off was building out the landing pad, the battery room. That doesn't look that great, but not terrible. We do need to look into the airlock system, and good comment that Keen has a airlock sample in the workshop, so I'll take a look at that too, just to see what I could come up with instead of my mediocre, very linear, too much timer system that I have back in the other base right over there. Another fun comment was I have so much lights here because it can be blinding just to get to the landing pad. But honestly, they're not even that bright, so it will do. I do plan to kind of make this kind of all blink sequentially if possible. That sounds like it's going to take a lot of work, but it'll be fun to do something like that as well. I think we could do something like that fairly easily too, right? Let's see, if we do blink, we just got to do intervals of like timing here. So like 1 second each or whatever. And then the length. So 1 second with the length of 10%, that's very, very bad. Alright, 50% is not bad as well, but let's just do 100%. Okay, that doesn't make sense. There you go. That makes more sense. 2 seconds with 50% blink length. And now do it. So then we would do the same thing for this. 2 seconds here. Blink left. Give me 50%. And that's going to blink at the same time. But what if we turn it off and turn it back on? Nope. I was hoping that would work. That was a little bit of a pipe dream, but would have been interesting. Unless you do, is it the blink offset that takes care of that? Yeah. That's what it seems like. Okay, so that makes it fairly easy actually. So this one, 2 seconds. This one, 50%. Blink offset, we do 15%. Yeah, that works out pretty well. So let me do 5-second differences and see how it goes from there. So that doesn't look too bad. And then we just got to go through the cycle of the rest of them here. All right, so there we go. We got up to this point right here, which is about 80% blink offset. So now that is going to be a little bit of a flashy thing over there. We probably want to do the blink a little longer. You see, right now it's just doing a bit of a line. It's a bit of a continuous line where none of them are completely off the whole time. So we gotta situate the timing on that a little bit later down the line. But it probably look really nice in the dark. But what we can do is actually just make it go that way and then circle it from here, which might be an interesting idea. We said 80 here, right? Yeah, 80. So this one could be our 85. Our 90 here. And what if the offset's at 100? What happens? Okay, that works out. Can you surpass 100? That's the question to be answered. Nope. We can't go past 105%. Which makes sense when it's one of 100. But we could get this to be 5%, I think, right? Yeah, there we go. That would work. So we just cycle it through by putting an additional 5% from here. So like 10, 15, 20, and so forth. And there you go. So once you hit the 100, you could go back to 5%, 10%, and so forth. And then you'll see a nice little line coming from the very top over there. And then eventually we go around the whole thing. So I think I'm going to set it up where this whole section is going to light up on the outside for now. And inside we could leave as is. I wish it would be an easier way to do this. It probably is, depending on which one was built first, so we can see the numbers. So this looks like even numbers right over here. Yeah, looks like about the even number. This is the odd numbers. So we could probably figure it out that way in the control panel. But at least this worked. So it makes this a little bit more worth doing with the lights. It definitely probably is going to look a lot better at night, but not during the daytime like right now. Alright, so we need to make a hydrogen section. Why? Because in the coming episodes, I'm probably and likely going to add a similar ship like this that's going to be able to house hydrogen. And we're going to use that hydrogen to fly into space to look at other space stations. Alright, so that's all set. It looks like our production is actually doing pretty good. Advanced handheld launcher item. What's that? I think that's a rocket. And angle grinders. Yeah, we need to ignore these as well. Okay, we just hide those. We did have the rockets. Ooh, it did expand here. Perfect. It did have the rockets in here as well, or missiles. Looks like it's called here for some reason. That's what it used to be called. So I think the auto crafting didn't update in terms of that. And I just put 30 of them. We already had 29. Just want to add one more and just make it even. But everything else looks good on this list. 877 solar cells. Yeah, sure. And there's some superconducting. Well, hopefully none of that makes up for that. Okay. So we don't have a lot of steel plates left, do we? No. We had over 10k at one point, and now we're reduced to 3k only. That's actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna queue up a little bit more if we can, so we don't have to waste time producing them as we build stuff. But let's get on with building out our hydrogen farm right around somewhere here. I don't really know where to put it. I don't want to put it with this piston because it is gonna collide into it, so we do have to kind of separate it out all the way back here, if anything. And I kind of don't want to block the view as well like I did over here. So, And a good point also in the comments. Also, I should have flipped these things around and put a pane or a window pane on the opposite side. So we can see the bars of batteries instead of seeing it in here. Because right now, if we were to grind down the backside, we only can see that, which is little to nothing. Let's put the hydrogen. Should we put it on this side? If we put it on this side, it wouldn't be too bad, I think. Yeah, potentially. Bit of a slope here, though. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But if we did want to put it here, we would have to make some platforms going this way. And I don't know how far we want to get this thing. But let's just say 1, 2, 3 blocks away. So something like right here, if anything. And I'm just going to do a full block there. And a full block here. Just so it looks like it's holding up the platform a tiny bit. But I think if we create the station right over here, we might be okay. So we can knock this out. And I'm just going to place a marker right over there instead. So 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to be right over here. We'll leave a marker there. Okay. So let's make the station. We know it's a 3 wide. Oh, we should make it longer. It's a hydrogens are 3 wide blocks. And I want to put a decent amount in there. So it's going to be quite a large station, if anything. Would it be nice to put it here? I don't know. I mean, we could potentially move a station if we need to later down the line by lifting it up if we have to. I mean, it will be a hydrogen station, so we could put a whole bunch of hydrogen thrusters on it and pretty much fly it up if we need to. So that could be a thing. I kind of want to do like a rounded looking like station, like a hydrogen tank, like that, but sideways. And we've seen something like that before in an abandoned station, but it was like very tiny. So if you wanted to make something big, I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna work. So, okay, let me just make a bit of a point here. So we're not gonna build past this point, and we could just leave it as full blocks for now. Let's see how that's gonna work. We do need to put the flooring, which is going to be right over here. I'm just going to put full blocks as the starting point, and then we'll adjust if we need to. Okay, so let's see. If we built it this way, we could fit... Not enough. We want to fit maybe 2 lengthwise of them. But let's work on these side walls first. I think what I want to do is be able to add them pretty high up. Actually, sideways this way, potentially. And then lower on the ground as well. So maybe. But if we did that, we would probably, let's see, maybe this. So we could put one like right over here as an example. And looks like we need to extend this out a little bit more. So this station might actually be fairly large if we're going to do 2 length of it. But it should look decent once I get this going. I think we're going to add a block here to hold that together. Alright, so this is going to be our tank system. Not the greatest looking thing, not the worst looking thing. But we do need to add some pipes too. That's another situational thing that we need to add as well. So I think the pipe system we can add towards the little holes that we have set up over there. And since we don't really need this thing to be airtight, we could do like pipe ends over here if we wanted to. And again, I'm probably going to use the yellow piping scheme here. We'll fix that one in a little bit. But I think I'm just going to use the pipes to do some kind of design with them. And either we use the piping as the design on the outside, or we take out this line right here and put it there. I kind of want to surround it on the outside to make it look decent. So we can always give that a shot to see what that's going to look like. So we're going to use like T-shapes here on both sides. And actually, if we want to make more tanks, we could do a cross section on this side and build one adjacent to it. But what I want to do here is kind of add a regular piping system from the top and bottom right over here. And then we can create some kind of curve end right over here. Or in this case, on this side, we'll do a T-shaped junction here. And we'll connect pipe. And this one is going not to be a T-shape, but more of a C-shape curve one. So it's going to pipe out this way. And underneath it is where we're going to get our piping. And I think we might just end up piping it through there eventually. So we could now on top kind of do the same thing. So we could surround the whole entire base, this whole station with these pipes to make it a different design as well. So we'll do a C shape here. And then we'll pipe it across this way. And of course we could add another pipe here. I feel like going the route of doing the piping out like that just doesn't make it look great. It's not terrible per se, but it isn't very pleasant either. What we can do also is kind of design out the outer pieces too. So like it looks nice to have some kind of like bandit piece around it. So we could do something like this. Very basic. Alright, so in the dark, it doesn't look that bad. If that makes sense. I mean, it looks okay. The piping on the outside doesn't really work that well. We could eliminate that. And just have the pipes come out from the sides right here. Not a big deal. Yeah, I really don't think it works that well. I do like the little bands on the side. That works. The piping on the outside, not so much. So I'm gonna just remove that actually. And plus, it's gonna save us on materials because we are out of iron actually. So that's pretty bad. And it's gonna be harder to make our construction components, motors, small steel tubes that we need to make these pipes. And we are missing a few pipes to actually get it connected to the existing tanks and also to the economy base. So we're gonna have to get rid of this piping for sure because it doesn't look great anyways. And then try to add it towards the bottom just to get it all connected. We can leave this exposed like this for now, but without the pipings on the top, it looks better. Yeah, it definitely looks a little bit better. But it's like a writer's block. It's more of a creator's block or building block, as I was saying in the last episode. It seems like I'm not having the best mindset right now to really create nice designs. I mean, I don't necessarily always have nice designs. It's another questionable thing to say. I'm gonna add a conveyor junction pipe or conjunction pipe right over there. And I'm gonna connect the other pipings right around here. I'm gonna do another junction pipe down there. And then we'll do C block here. And that will connect to the hydrogen tanks, which is perfect. I mean, I wish this one could connect just as well, but I don't think I'm going to be able to weld up the ones underneath it that it's actually built underneath though. So that's going to be our problem. It looks like I'm running out of food, water, and everything like that. So let's get me settled in there first. Okay, that's all set. What else is there? So yeah, this thing not looking the greatest, but it looks decent. We still have to weld up the other hydrogen tank as well. I feel like we should just let them exposed outside. Like, lift the cap, take the top off, make it into convertible so you can see the exposed hydrogen tanks. That might actually have looked a little bit better, to be honest. And we could do that down the line. Like, we don't have to keep it the way it looks now, for sure. So I was hoping to keep these kind of secured and reinforced. That was kind of the main point, but I feel like it's so unnecessary to do so. So I might expose them later down the line. And I'm like using this frosted blue for the hydrogen tanks. I like using the frosted blue for the hydrogen tank itself. But yeah. But like I said, this station not the greatest, but it should do okay. We could kind of build it out like that. Like, there's bands coming out from the middle block. So we could surround the whole thing with a band instead. I mean, that could be an idea too. So like right here, instead of using the curve, we would surround it with these half blocks in essence. Like that. Or the inside's gonna have to be a full block. So it would have to look something like that. That is a bit odd. No, that's not gonna work out that well. I'll leave it for now, but it definitely would need some work. All right, so just looking at it from the front, looks terrible. Looking from the back side, no, side, look at the side of it, not as bad. But the back side again is terrible. Yeah, so it's a bit of a brick surrounded by a few blocks. So not the best design. And probably don't have enough materials for it, but I'm just gonna build out the platform a little bit more with the panels. All right, so that's done with in terms of the platform. It's getting fairly big when it comes to this whole big platform, which isn't too bad. We could put more ramp systems here now since we expanded it out a little bit. We could have saved some mats on the platform because we would need to actually build on top of it, but it should be okay. And there you go. So the little ramp system's all up and running with the platform here, since we're gonna end up building stuff here. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, this whole project here was a bit of a letdown. It just doesn't look that great. So if I'm gonna save some materials, I'm probably just gonna scrap as much of that as I can, to be honest. So I think I may just go the route of exposing it. All right, so as simple as exposing it actually just makes it look a little bit better. Not by a lot, but it's not too bad. With this, at least we could do kind of the same thing before and do some bands on the sides. So at least this time around we can actually use actually no, it's not gonna look great either. I was just gonna think of using something like this just to band it around it, but it's not gonna look that great. So I think we're just gonna, at this point, we'll probably leave it exposed for now. I feel like we could add things around here, which is probably going to be a beam block kind of situation to kind of surround it to look like it's kind of glued on here actually. So I would probably just do something like this and throw in this right there, and then half block the rest of it from here, just to kind of have a look of secureness to it. So something like that might be a little helpful to kind of make it look like it's secured on and have it a little bit exposed, because it's nice to have certain things exposed and not always close it out. And hydrogen tanks is one of those things, because it has so much design to it that leaving it open just makes it look better. So I think that's the way we're gonna go, and we can do the same thing right over here just to give it that extra look. But in this one we're gonna have to use more of the half blocks more than, actually that doesn't look great. I'm gonna use this here, but then we're gonna use, nope, that's not gonna work. And we're gonna use the same thing right over here. Again, that's just to make it look like it's secured on to the platform and it's just exposing the top, which is a bad idea, especially if we have a lightning storm. It is potentially gonna shock it down and make it explode. I don't think one lightning bolt is gonna do it. So, I mean, if lightning strikes twice in the same spot, yeah, we're definitely gonna have a problem. But hopefully not. Hopefully not. All right, so that looks a little bit better. Not a fan of this section right here, but I think we could potentially use a half block here and a half block here, or half beam block, and then use this to square it out or round it out, and it'll look a little bit better on that side. Yeah, potentially a little bit better than what it was. All right, so there we go. So a bit of a waste of time early on. Actually, I don't like the side piece, the front and back pieces here. They look terrible. It just looks better just on the sides. It doesn't really look great over here, but we could leave a bit of a look here without connecting it. So it could be this here, or actually this, to look like it's secured on, so we don't need to loop around it, obviously, and just make it look like it's just attached. So that's the possibility right there. So, and if we really care to, we just put caps on top of these as well. Just for adding stuff from automatons. That would be conveyor pipe caps here. And it looks like we just need a few. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And that should do it. Right over here, we could put that double door system. I forget what that's called already. Right over here, the access panels. And there we go. So they're just little doors, really. That doesn't really do much on this system here, but it's just more aesthetics than anything else. And I think we should have just done that to begin with. Yeah, definitely looks a little bit nicer that it's exposed, that it's showing its core, basically. Definitely should have just went this route. Wasted a lot of time, but that's how it goes sometimes, I guess. Alright, we're gonna stockpile this because I wanted to take all the hydrogen from the other tank, which is that one there. I don't think we got too much, but looks like we're getting a decent amount out of it. Is there a chance that an oxygen or O2 system is on? There is an oxygen tank that's on, but has no ice in it anyways. I might have just burned a whole bunch of ice. Potentially. Nope, we're still good. It didn't go anywhere. I think, yeah, that's fine. Whew. That would have sucked if I wasted all that ice. Then we're gonna have to go out and grab some more, potentially. Alright, so we got rid of this specific hydrogen tank. We're gonna stockpile our hydrogen from here. We could add a few more tanks right next to it, adjacent to it. We're gonna use it to fill up a hydrogen thruster ship, so we can go out and look at other close by, nearby stations or economy stations, to see what they sell and everything like that as well. So so I totally forgot I bought data pads, so let's look at those really quick. All right, so if we look at our GPS system, we have a few DAVALs. I wish I could tell what the phone name is, because I was reading up on the economy bases, and there are like 3 specific types of economy bases, and you could tell by what they are by the station name. And DVAL, we probably can look at the faction to figure what that is in a second, but let's continue on to see what we have here. So everything is miles and miles away, or kilometers and kilometers away in this case. This one's about 2,000 kilometers away, which is pretty far, but not too crazy. Oh, look at that. There's a SCDE station 185 away. I think we may have something similar though already. Oh, no, nope, it's this one here. Station 11. It's the same exact one. So we can get rid of that one. I think it was the same exact one, but I deleted it anyway, so who cares? Alright, so let's see what these things are. So one of the funny things is, once I started reading about the economy bases and the 3 different categories: a miner station, I think creative station or component station, I should say, and like rovers and ship stations. I forgot exactly what they're called, but those are the 3 categories, and you could kind of tell by the name of the faction to know what that economy base is gonna be, if you can make out the abbreviation. So DVAL is Divine Alliance, but I don't know. Yeah, so it's not going to really say much about that. Divine Alliance, yeah, it's hard to say what that is. But if you see like Galactic Technologies, I'm thinking that's components. Secret Dealers might actually be the ships and rovers, so that might be something interesting. But of course, the Rogue Miner Guild, that's where we are at, and we got lucky that we're by a miner station, because we were able to like buy and sell ore related stuff. So that is the good thing about that. If we ended up with just the component side of things, yeah, that would be really rough. So we really lucked out on that. But what else can we see? Galactic Technologies, like I said, it's components, and we went to the GCTC station that's 150 away, 150 kilometers away, and it was just components. All right, so you have things like secret minerals. I would think that's mining. So it's kind of all that stuff. Like drilling is mining, drilling. Welders might actually be components. Inventors might actually be the ships and stuff like that. So rogue inventors might be a place we want to get to, or all the other makers might be that as well. But the unfortunate piece is that everything's so far away. So it just makes it difficult to really do anything. The DAVL, which is 120 right over there, and I think that one was out in space. So that's what makes it difficult for me to get there right now with our current thruster situation. But that's why I'm building out the hydrogen thrusting. So then that way we can go out into space and look at those stations. Actually, there's a SCDE station and a DVAL station, which maybe one of them isn't out in space. But if they both are, we should have a decent ship with a large amount of hydrogen so we can get out in space fairly decently. And eventually from there, we're probably going to need a ship that has jump drive, so we can travel in space much quicker. Okay, so we dismantled our truck fully except for the 2 batteries that we could pretty much reuse. Don't want to get rid of the power cells and things like that, so we can keep that going. Hopefully I didn't damage it by dropping it. Nope, it looks good. Okay. All right, so we got a hydrogen tank all set. We have 2. That's not enough. We probably need more. But we should be good to go for now if we want to recharge the ship. We just need to go ahead and go to the economy base and buy our hydrogen. And kind of get that all settled in. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that. And here we go. So we can't sell hydrogen. That's interesting, right? So here we could fill up a whole hydrogen tank if we wanted to. So it's hydrogen tank 2 is the one we have a bit of in there. And right now we have 3 million liters worth. And we buy a KL. So I think that was 1,000 per unit. So we need to buy a whole bunch if we want to fill it up. If we buy it all, what is that going to be? That's add 3 zeros, right? So about 1 million only. It's about 1.2 million, I think. So if we buy it all, which is not even that expensive, we can just store it in there. Okay, so it didn't really store it didn't update, let's just say. I don't think it stole it, it just didn't update. Yeah, right. So there's that. I'm hoping it just didn't update. Oh, there you go. Yep, it didn't update. Whew. So I thought we just got robbed there. Yeah, so now we have 4 million. So it's a lot to go to fill up a whole tank. It looks like we can't buy it all in one shot. That's going to be interesting. All right, so looks like things refreshed. We're going to buy everything we can in terms of ore. Iron, I'm going to buy iron ingots. It looks like we have gold ore now too. And first, let me spend on uranium instead. Ooh, there's platinum ore now. We're going to buy that. Nickel and gold left. We'll buy gold. We'll buy nickel as well. Just keep buying all the ores as necessary, and the rest we can just kind of wait on. I figure it's going to be a while until our hydrogen tanks will even get full. It looks like we can buy only about 1 million at a time, if it's even available. But that should be a decent amount. Right, so at least we can sum up what happened so far, and at least we got a nice little blinking interval light going on, and we could surround the whole thing and do the whole entire outside and then go from the inside to kind of make this blinking section going. And we wasted a whole bunch of time with the hydrogen tanks build, but I mean right now it looks okay. We could add 2 more to the side here for sure. And we can make it very similar to what we have over here to have them exposed as well instead of having it covered as we initially tried to build it, which looked terrible. So we can just leave that as is. Well, we could build that out really quickly. But yeah, I think once I have a better creative mind, I can come back and create and make these look a little bit better. But I think the next thing I'm going to do is actually try my best to fill up as much hydrogen as we can and then create that small hydrogen ship so then we can get to the other economy bases. Because as much as I enjoy ROMG station for the ores, I really want to go explore and see if we can find the ship ones or the rover ones. Looks like I kind of messed this up actually. I need to add a pipe right over here. Right, so we are set with our double hydrogen tank system, which is total of 4. That should be more than enough for a lot of things, especially a ship and things like that. We could also draw power from it. Don't forget we have hydrogen engines to work with as well. So basically, I think that should be it for today. So it feels like every episode may or may not include one or two things, mainly one extra type of building station or station itself. And notice this is completely off. All right, so I got that fixed up. And yeah, so we wasted a lot of time on this for no reason at all. But yeah, I think each episode is going to be a new station for the time being. Because building does take quite some time to do. So unfortunate, but hopefully the next thing will speed up a little bit. But we might take a pause on building buildings because look at this and look at that. Not the best things or best designs in the world. So we're gonna have to kind of sleep on it literally until we have a better mind in terms of being creative. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, of course, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.